Good morning, everyone. I'm Meteorologist Margo Altshuler. We are watching and waiting for snow to move into our area. Right now, we've seen some significant snowfall throughout the state of Tennessee. Saw some reports of about 5 inches in Memphis already, and they're still seeing snow. Nashville already starting to see some snow, and we've gotten some snow reports as well as some sleet reports out of Mississippi and in Alabama. So the snow is coming, and it will be here very, very quickly. So let's kind of take a look at our radar right now. So our radar is showcasing that all that purple throughout the area, and that purple is snow. Now it does look like it's moving into our area, but believe it or not, we do have some dry air that's kind of making sure we don't see the snow just yet. But that dry air should move out here in the next hour or so, and then we will start to see flurries moving through, and then we'll start to really see the snow as we head towards this afternoon. I do want to point out some airport delays, and make sure you check with your airline for the latest information, especially if you are traveling or you know somebody that's traveling. Nashville International Airport, no current delays, but Hartsfield Jackson Airport, oh, went a little too fast. Hartsfield Jackson Airport is active ground stop until 10 a.m. and McGee Tyson not seeing any current delays either. And then this is just a look at our regional map. The only delays that we see is that ground stop in Atlanta. The rest of the airports throughout the nation are good to go, but we will continue to watch everything and keep you updated. Now, potential impacts for today going into Saturday. We have a high chance of seeing snow and a medium chance of seeing some sleet. Now, this is mainly south of 40, specifically for the Southern Valley and portions of the foothills. And both of these, once they drop down from the sky and start to freeze on to the surface, well, this is going to cause us to see some pretty big travel impacts and make travel quite hazardous, especially once they initially fall before TDOT is able to clear with the snow plows and salts and such. So, if you don't have to travel today. It is recommended you don't, but if you do, please, please, please be safe. Power outages are at a medium. This is because you never know. There could be an old tree that once it sees a lot of snowfall could fall over. We'll continue to watch everything, but just be prepared. There could be maybe some power outages as we head on into today. So look at our timeline for wintry weather. Around between now and about 10 a.m., we should start to see some flurries making their way into the southern portion of our area. You can see that lighter kind of bluish white color for McMinn and Monroe counties, as well as the southern part of Loudoun County and portions of Cumberland County. Now, between 10 a.m. and noon, that's when we'll start to see that snow moving on into the rest of the area, pretty much engulfing a lot of East Tennessee, including portions of Southeast Kentucky. And then the last stop is the very far northeastern portion of East Tennessee, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Now, the most likely timing for the heaviest snow will be between 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. This is when we'll see those bigger flakes, those heavier flakes, and those consistent snow showers moving on through. But let's take a look at our 6 predictor just that way you can see this line moving on through. So as we head on into the rest of the morning, going closer to about 10 a.m., we'll start to see that snow entering into portions of the Southern Valley, and then it'll continue to push on through to where by noon it's here in Knoxville. And notice the darker purple moving on in by 4 o'clock. That's when we're seeing those heavier snow showers moving on through. And also notice that kind of mixed color near Tellico Plains and in the southern portion of McMinn County. We're seeing some sleet move through. More sleet is expected as we head later into our Friday night going into early Saturday morning. Now, the sleet is going to be the reason why the Southern Valley and portions of the foothills don't see much accumulation of snow, but travel concerns are still high. We still expect to see some pretty hazardous travel, especially down in the Southern Valley. So just be aware that even though they're not seeing as much snow accumulation-wise, it's still going to be a treacherous drive on those roads. Overall future snowfall totals. So all of us will see around 2 to 3 inches with some isolated 4 to 8 inch amounts. Now, the majority of the area north of 40 will see 3 to 6, the plateau 4 to 8, and portions of the Southern Valley maybe 1 to 3. Again, that sleet playing a big role into why they're not seeing as much accumulation-wise. And obviously, the Great Smoky Mountains, the higher peaks, will see about 6 to 8, maybe even more. So we're going to watch everything going on into that. Our future sleet totals, they are going to be lighter in nature. Most of them will be south of 40. So again, again, mostly for McMinn and Monroe counties and the foothills in Blount County. So just be aware of that. This is also a possibility, and temperatures are just going to be rather frigid. So even after the snow wraps up on Saturday morning, we most likely will have a hard time seeing melt off, so things melting away, and just because our overnight lows will be in the teens and our daytime highs are barely breaking freezing. There's not much of a difference between 35 and 32 degrees when you step outside. Both of those temperatures are cold, and we are going to stay cold. Now, with this winter storm moving through during the day and overnight and into the morning, it's always a good idea to have our weather app downloaded. It's free. If you're watching this from a laptop, you can point your phone's camera at the QR code. But if you are watching on your phone and you don't have our app, you can always search in the App Store and Google Play the Knoxville weather app. So that way you can stay up to date on the latest forecast that moves on through. But again, we are going to be weather aware today because of those snowstorms moving on through. Those snowstorms continue to push on through early Saturday morning. And then we expect to see a little bit of some sun. But remember, I said 36 and 32, there's not a big difference. It's still cold. And again, things are going to have a hard time melting, because as soon as they melt, as we go into the overnight hours, we're 16, 22, 19 degrees. So we're going to have to watch that. Travel impacts are going to be the main concern as we head throughout the weekend, even though Sunday we're not expecting to see any precipitation. But just know that as a reminder, especially if you live on a back road. Again, we will be very, very cold. We're going to be online, on air, and probably on Facebook a lot today. So make sure to tune in to stay up to date on the forecast. Luckily, most of the schools in East Tennessee have closed for the day, and hopefully you have a half day at work. But again, we're going to keep you updated and make sure that you stay up to date on the forecast and such like that. Have a great day, and again, we'll be on social media all day.